Benefits of probation in Louisiana. Probation offers several benefits to both offenders and society. For offenders, it provides an opportunity to avoid imprisonment, access rehabilitation programs, and reintegrate into society. For society, probation reduces prison populations, potentially lowering costs and promoting rehabilitation. Probation is literally an agreement or contract with the court in which the judge agrees not to jail the probationer for his criminal conduct provided that the probationer agree to do and not do certain things. The probationer will avoid serving time in jail so long as he remains compliant with the conditions imposed by the court. The probation process in Louisiana. The probation process in Louisiana begins with a judge determining eligibility and ordering probation as part of the offender's sentence. In most jurisdictions, the probationer is required to report to the probation office within 48 hours of sentencing. In some court systems, the probation office has an intake division at the courthouse, but in most parishes, the probation office is located off-site. The initial intake meeting is simply a sign-up process. The probationer provides the office with the judgment of conviction and the commitment paperwork outlining the terms of supervision and provides the probation office with their demographic information. Probationers are then assigned a probation officer who will monitor their compliance with the conditions set forth by the court and, as discussed above, will inspect the probationer's home and require them to report each month to discuss compliance. Length of supervision. As a general rule, a person can only be placed onto felony probation for a maximum period of 3 years, though certain probation-eligible crimes of violence can have probationary terms upwards of 5 years. Louisiana law also implies a minimum terms of 1 year for anyone placed onto felony probation. That said, a probationer in good standing can have their probation terminated early after successfully completing their special conditions during their first year. Also, in cases involving significant restitution, the court is allowed to extend the duration of probation to allow for the full payment of restitution. However, if full repayment does not seem practical, the court can convert this financial condition into a stipulated civil money judgment. This allows for the victim to maintain a monetary recourse against the offender. Probation officer responsibilities. Probation officers in Louisiana play a crucial role in supervising probationers, ensuring compliance with probation conditions, and providing resources for rehabilitation. They work closely with other law enforcement agencies to monitor probationers and maintain public safety. They will require the probationer to file a monthly report with their office and pay monthly supervision fees. In many jurisdictions, the probation officer will collect any outstanding fines and restitution. At the beginning of the probationary term, they will travel to the probationer's home to verify residence and conduct a search for illicit items. They will repeat this process a few times during the probationary period to ensure compliance. Lastly, probation officers regularly appear in court to provide the sentencing judge with updates concerning the probationer's compliance with the conditions imposed by the court. Common revocation scenarios. Probation can be revoked for various reasons, including failed drug tests, new arrests or convictions, and absconding, failing to report to a probation officer, or leaving the jurisdiction without permission. Revocation process in Louisiana. The revocation process begins with a notice of violation, which details the alleged probation violations. A revocation hearing is then held to determine if the probationer violated the terms of their probation. As discussed earlier, the court can convene an evidentiary hearing to determine whether there is probable cause to believe the offender violated the terms and conditions of probation and, if so, what is the appropriate sanction. Consequences of revocation can range from modifying probation conditions to incarceration. Courts can impose a technical violation for infractions deemed to be minor. These violations require the offender serve 90 days in jail as punishment before being released back onto probation. Typically, anyone convicted of a felony will have their probation revoked. It is not uncommon for the sentencing court to run its time consecutive to the time required to be served for the revoked probationary sentence.